Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your average programmer here, and today we are going to be talking about functions. Now, before we get into coding up a function, I just wanted to show you a little PowerPoint just to give you the gist of what functions are. A function is basically a block of code that performs some kind of manipulation or arithmetic on something. So you would pass something into the function would manipulate that thing, whatever it is you passed in, and it would output something else. Now, functions are used to simplify and reduce bloat in your code. So rather than having these tons of lines of code in the main program, you would create functions to hold these blocks of code just to simplify your application. And from that main program, you would call those functions to perform some kind of, again, arithmetic or manipulation. Now, I wanted to show you this example that I created. Let's say we've got a block of cheese, for example, and we want to turn this into a liquid. So we'll take that cheese and we would put it into the microwave. Now, the microwave in this case is the function because it's going to take that block of cheese in and it's going to manipulate the state of the cheese. So now we get liquid cheese. So again, we've got a block of cheese. The block of cheese goes into the microwave. The microwave spits out liquid cheese. So the microwave, again, is the function because it manipulates the state or performs some kind of arithmetic on whatever you pass inside of it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Visual Studio. Visual Studio. We're going to create a new project called Functions because that is the topic of this video. Create a new project. Now, if you remember, or if you watched my last video, you should know, or 2 videos ago, I think it was, you should know how to create a class. So again, a class holds different fields, properties, and methods of an object. So let's go ahead and create this. You can name it function inside of here if you want. I just forgot. Or you can give it any name. I'm gonna wait for this to load up. Perfect. Let me make this a bit wider. Looks like we've got a new update. It's pretty cool. All right. So let's go ahead and create a class in the namespace level. Let's say public class, and we're gonna say, call it string uppercase. I'll call it uppercase case. And there's a reason I'm calling it uppercase. Let's go ahead and Alt and Enter. Remember, you can either do it this way or you can right click on your project, hit add, hit class. It's going to create a new class. We're going to call it uppercase. Going to hit add. So we're in our uppercase class now. So we are going to create a function. So we have a class, and inside of that class, we're going to create a function. I'm going to call this function, first going to give it an access modifier, which is public. We're not going to return anything. I'm going to create 2 functions for you. One having to do with strings and the other having to do with numbers, just so you get a little feel for the different data types that you could pass into these functions. And if you watched my last video, you should know something about data types. Void, we're going to call it convert to uppercase. So now we have to pass in what is going to convert to uppercase. We're going to convert a string to uppercase. We're going to call this text. So all we want to do is take this text over here, take this text variable, and then convert it to upper. Text dot to upper. That's it. So whatever you pass into here, which is the parameter of the function, it's going to take that in. It's going to convert it into an uppercase. So if you pass in lowercase, it's going to convert it to uppercase. And we want to console.writeLine that since we're not returning anything. Console.writeLine. So let's go ahead and go into we're going to make this static, just so we don't have to create an instance of this object. So we're going to say, let's say we're going to create a variable. Now again, you should know how to create a variable because I showed you in my last video about data types. I'm going to say name equals, I'm going to write this in lowercase because we're going to use that function to convert it into uppercase letters. James Lee Celestin. So now we are going to call this method that we created in this class. So we're going to say uppercase dot convert to uppercase. So we have the class name, and then we put a dot just to access the method inside of that class name since it's static. So uppercase dot, you can see here the function's right here, uppercase. So now you see this red line because it takes in a parameter which we haven't passed in yet. So what are we going to do? We are going to pass this name variable in, which is just my name in lowercase letters. And remember, again, this function converts whatever we pass into it into uppercase letters. So let's go ahead and pass in the name variable. So again, you see everything, every letter here is lowercase. Now we're going to control F5. I'm going to see what happens. Perfect. Now, let me zoom in here. You can see that the entire name is uppercase, sorry. In here, we had it all lowercase, but in the console, because we used a function to manipulate this string right here, we passed in the name, it manipulated the string. See, it converted that text to which is to uppercase, and then it gave us this back. So now we go from lowercase to uppercase, all because we passed it into a function. So again, function just modifies the state or performs some kind of arithmetic on whatever you pass into it. So that's a function for strings. Now we're gonna write a function for numbers. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and comment our code. This function converts any string passed in to uppercase. It's always good to comment your code just so you know what you're doing and what's going on in your code. So let's go back to this class and we're going to create another function. So remember, this is just one function itself. This block of code is one function. I'm going to create another one. Let's say public. We're going to static again so we don't have to create an instance. I'm going to talk about object instances in another video. It's a pretty long topic, so that's why I don't want to talk about it now, but we're going to make this static and we are going to return void. We're going to call it square. So as you might guess, it's going to take an integer variable name. I'm going to call it number. We're going to take that number. We're basically going to square that number. So multiply it by itself. That's it. It's going to take a number and we're going to multiply number times number. I'm going to console.writeLine it. Number times number. Perfect. So if we pass in 1, 1 times 1 is 1. If we pass in 10, 10 times 10 is 100. So let's go ahead and declare a number. We're going to say int num equals, let's say, 4. And then we call uppercase. Remember, that's our class name. And then the method itself, see, we have convert to uppercase, which is the function we created up here. and we've got square down here, which is the function we just created, which squares whatever number we pass in. So we are going to square this variable right here, which is 4. So we should get back 16. I'm going to control F5. And yes, we did. We got back 16. So we've got the string to upper. And we've got the squared of whatever number we passed in, 16. Perfect. So now I know I declared a variable and assigned a number to that variable, but you can also just pass in a normal number. Let's say 9. 9 times 9, 81. So we get back 81. You don't have to pass a variable in only. It can be a variable or the number itself or whatever string itself. Like here we can pass in, what am I doing? We can pass in the word cookies. Gonna get back cookies to uppercase. See, got cookies in all caps. So that is what a function is. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. I hope I explained everything very well. Again, I will explain to you guys what a static method is and what an instance method is. But in this case, I just wanted for you to understand what a function was, which is why I didn't get into what static and what an instance method is. So again, I hope you liked this video. If you do like it, please hit a like. Comment down below whatever questions you have, or if you think I should have done something better. I tried to make this as practical as possible. Hopefully you understood it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you.